Hey guys, it's Jessica. So today I'm filming with my desk behind me. I know, it's different. Some of you guys asked, like when I did my desk tour, you were like, why don't you ever film with that as your background? I'm like, that's a great idea, just kind of switch it up. So here we are switching it up. But today I wanted to do just an all cream makeup look. So everything I'm gonna be using today is gonna be like kind of cream or liquid, no powder. Basically, really, it's a no powder makeup look because I'm still gonna use mascara and stuff like that. And anyway, I have already applied my Maelove Glow Maker Serum, which is like a vitamin C serum. I love putting that kind of a product on my face first because it's gonna help kind of reverse some like photo damage, sun damage. And then I just put on the Maelove Pure Marula Oil. Love this stuff. I did a sponsored video with them recently, but I genuinely love those products. So this one's not sponsored. I'm just still using it because I'm using it all the time. And then I need to put a lip balm on. This is the Nooni Water Blending Lip Oil. I've been using this stuff for like a month or two. They have different ones. I just like it. It's a really light but moisturizing oil, and this one kind of smells minty. So I'm trying out the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. I've used it a couple of days. It is beautiful. So Tatcha actually sent this in PR, and I was so surprised. It comes with a little spatula. I didn't realize. I tried a few Tatcha products before I realized that this comes out and you use it to get the product out. But this is like this kind of light purple, kind of glowy moisturizer. So I use it as a moisturizer. I'd mentioned in my like kind of, you know, what I'm buying, what I'm avoiding at Sephora kind of a video that I wanted to give this a try. And so it was on my like to buy list. And then literally days later it came in PR. I'm like, coincidence? I guess what I'm saying is I was really pumped because I was going to buy this anyway. It's not a sticky product, but it definitely does feel like there's some kind of oil to it. But it also isn't so like dewy and like, it's not shimmery or glittery or anything like that though. So it truly is just a cream. But Tatcha's products and what the company stands for, I've mentioned in a lot of videos how I just feel like it's a nice company. They really take constructive criticism well. Like I talked badly about the brand long ago and they were like, they were so kind about it, and it was just, I've never had such a positive experience with the brand, so that really kind of warmed me to them, you know? But I do like it. Again, I'm still trying it. This is still a new product to me, but I am enjoying it. I feel like when I have it on underneath makeup, it really does make my skin look kind of like glass. So I am, however, gonna put on a physical sunscreen. This is the Paula's Choice Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense. The name is really long and confusing. It's a sunscreen. It's a sunscreen. It's got SPF of 30, broad spectrum. It's got antioxidants, resveratrol. It's got so much good skincare. And because it is a physical sunscreen, you do need to have it on one of your kind of outer layers. So I like to put it on. This is something I've messed with a lot, but I have decided that it works best. Scientist Jessie. So I did a little research and I found that it really does work best as one of the last steps right before putting on like makeup. But it's a really light, thin lotion. You saw me put it on. It doesn't make your skin, of course my skin is shiny because of all that I just put on. But if I were just putting this on, it doesn't make my skin look shiny or anything. It's just a really, really good SPF. This is one I loved long ago, and I'm so excited to have it again because it really, I think it is the best SPF I've ever tried when it comes to, especially if you're gonna put makeup on. But I wear this alone all the time too. All right, so I figured I would throw a primer on because I have been using this and enjoying it. It's from Essence, pretty inexpensive. It's their Fresh and Fit Awake primer. And this is kind of a like beige toned primer. And it does have, there's no glitter or shimmer, but there's definitely a glimmer to it, like finely milled kind of a thing. So I'm gonna kind of focus it in the areas I want the most shininess. Again, it's not like a liquid highlighter or anything, so you don't have to be that precise. I'm just weird. But you'll notice that I'm spending a lot of time on what I'm putting on my face because I feel like the trend has moved from like complicated eye looks and things like that to kind of having these really simple eye looks, but with really well hydrated, beautiful skin. And that's why honestly probably half this video is me just doing my skin. So for my actual like coverage to kind of tone things down a bit, I typically would just use my Missha BB cream in the shade number 21. So when buying the Missha BB cream, a lot of people ask if you can buy it on Amazon if it's the real deal because it is half the price. I've heard really positive things from you guys that you've ordered it from there and it is definitely the real thing, blah, blah, blah. But I have heard a handful of people say that it wasn't. So buyer beware, but I think when I run out of this shade number 21, I'm gonna buy my next one on Amazon and give it a try and just see, because I definitely have a lot of experience. So I'm actually gonna mix this with the Revlon Photoready Candid. This is the shade 200. It's a little bit too orange and dark for me, but I like mixing these. It adds even more coverage. To be honest, more often than not, I just apply the BB cream on its own, the Missha one, because I really just love the way it looks. But I find that if I mix it with the Revlon Photoready Candid, it just adds just that little bit more coverage, and it's very nice. I like to apply this with my hands. And if you find that when you use the Missha BB cream, it kind of adds this gray cast, because it definitely, they do have like kind of gray tones to them, but it does sink in beautifully. The last half, I just kind of pat it in. Now, the reality is that Missha BB cream actually does have like SPF of like 42. It's really, really good. So I don't feel like I have to wear sunscreen when I have that on, but a lot of times I do anyway, just as an extra precaution and because I really enjoy using that Polish Choice stuff. My hair is literally like too strong. This headband's like a really cheap one, but I love these that I bought in my like random stuff, like old school Target haul. But I love them, but my hair is like too heavy to like stay where it tells it to go. Okay, so that has kind of sunk in a little bit. Okay, so I do want to put a little bit of concealer on. This is almost gone. I need to get a new one. I adore the Bobbi Brown Corrector. I have the shade Light Bisque. Obviously, they have many shades, but I feel like I can literally tap it there and there where I'm the darkest, and it takes me about all of 15 seconds, if that, to kind of tap it in, and it looks so much brighter. It doesn't look like, it just doesn't really look like you're trying, and yet it's definitely corrected that area. It's such an easy, foolproof, like, can you see the difference between that one and this one? Now, is it crazy brightened and triangular yet? No, but I'm gonna be putting on highlighter that's gonna catch the light really nicely. I just wanna lighten this area. So I just put a little of this concealer that I love from Flower Beauty. It is Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. I don't think it's full coverage, but it's a super neutral shade. So for me, I can use this almost as a foundation, like if I just wanna kind of spot cover certain areas without putting foundation all over my face or concealer all over. So for me, that's my nose. So I'll kind of drag it up a little bit, brighten that area, but sometimes I'll drag it out just a tinge. I do use this on my under eye, but you definitely need to set it because it's a super moisturizing concealer. But it's another one that's really pretty, and you can tap it in with your finger as well, and it looks really, really nice. In fact, let me just show it to you. I wasn't gonna, but just so you can kind of see what it looks like. It's such a beautiful, comfortable concealer. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna be able to set it because we're not using powder, and typically if I'm putting it on my under eye, I do, but to be honest, when I don't, this is a concealer that, yes, it's gonna sink into fine lines, but it's such a healthy looking concealer. It almost has like this glow to it that it just looks so pretty regardless of if it's sunk into some of your fine lines. So I wasn't gonna film this video today. I actually had plans to film this video about these Rimmel products, but I was looking at them some more because I always sit and do a little bit of research, and I was looking into it and I'm like, you know what? It's a super matte line. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna like it. I might eventually try it, but it's hard for me to like matte products because I don't like the way they sit on my skin. I'd much prefer my skin to look like this, and that's where it gets really difficult for me as a makeup reviewer to keep that level head and be like, but people with oily skin might like it. You know what I mean? So I might still review it. Let me know if there's interest, but it's like a whole Rimmel Stay Matte line with the foundation, a primer, concealer. They have a new sponge. By the way, the sponge I will probably be using in a minute is from Wet n Wild. So I'm gonna do my brows really fast. Today I'm using the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. This is under 10 bucks. I wanna say it's like $5.99. And I love this. I love the shade of it in particular. It's the shade Brunette. I feel like it's just so easy to use, so quick to apply. I need to stop by Ulta before we leave on vacation to buy another one of these to bring with me because it really is my favorite right now. So for my eyes, I'm just gonna use one product. You guys have seen me use this before. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize Marie Antoinette. Now, there's no getting around the fact that this is a stupidly expensive product. It is. It's just a cream shadow, but I've never found a cream shadow that performs like this. So I'm using the Sigma E25. You can use any kind of, you can use your finger. But I've gotten into using a brush because it's just making it a little bit quicker. But I love this shade Marie Antoinette. They have other shades I'd like to try still. I keep saying that and then I never buy it, but I do. But I just love this shade so much. I'm like, why even try anything else? Because I feel like this shade is very weirdly complex. The look ends up looking way more complicated than the fact that it's just one single cream shadow. And then I grab a fluffy brush before it dries and just kind of blend that upward. You could also take like a cream bronzer or whatever to do this in that area. But this just blends so well upward. It's amazing. So I'm gonna take a little bit on the lower lash line because I just love this. Throwing on some liner. This is the LA Girl Glide Gel Liner. This is like, I think around $5, and it's a really good liner for the waterline. I don't think it's gonna stay for like 15 hours in the waterline, but it stays for, I would say, maybe 10. And so like if you're going out, you might wanna reapply, or maybe you just throw it on for going out, you know what I mean? I think it would be fine. So I'm quickly gonna throw on my bottom lashes this Megaslim Skinny Mascara from Wet n Wild that I love. It's just really good. It doesn't really do anything for the upper lash line, but it just slightly darkens and separates the lower lashes. So I love it because it's a very subtle look, but it's exactly what I want, because I don't want, for this look, I don't want spidery lashes on the bottom. Sometimes I do like that, but for most days, I just want them to be slightly darkened. And then on the upper lash line, we're gonna use the Essence Lash Princess mascara, the one with the green. There's a couple of them, but the green one is my personal fave. We're gonna start doing just a little bit of bronzer, blush, and highlight. So the bronzer I'm gonna use that's cream is this Benefit Hoola Quickie Contour Stick. A lot of people did not like this product. I actually really did. You can use a sponge, you can use a brush. You could probably use your fingers. It just might take a little bit longer for something like bronzer. But I feel like this looks nice. It blends really easily. I have not had any issues with this product, other than the little stick actually has come out a couple of times. So I'm like, but again, it's an easy fix, but it is kind of annoying when you're like, this was an expensive product. I bought this one on my own. So for the blush, I'm using one of my all-time favorites from Flower Beauty. This is their Blush Balm in the shade Pinched. This shade is sold out all of the time. And I've almost used this up. So the next time it's in stock, maybe it's in stock right now, I haven't checked recently, I need to buy it again. But again, you can use your sponge, you can use your fingers, you can use a brush. I'm gonna use that same sponge, just a different side. Just tap it in those areas. What's kind of funny, because of all of the skincare we put on underneath and everything else, you really don't need highlighter with this look. You know what I mean? Like, it's already there. But I am gonna show you a couple of my favorites. And I might apply a little bit. I really like the Kaja Mochi Glow. It's in the shade Toy Alien. Now, this is not one that you're right away gonna be able to see from space, because once it's kind of blended in, it's kind of subtle, but you can definitely build upon it. So I'm gonna get a little bit on my finger and just tap it in this area here. There is a little sparkle in this, but it's not insane. Like, I can't explain it. It's a really subtle, nice sparkle, I think. And this is also a nice one. I like to kind of tap on my brow bone a little bit and tap a little bit above the brow. Now, another one I'm not going to use because I feel like I'm already glowy enough, but I really like the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Hello Halo liquid highlighter. What I do when I'm applying this is I take the doe foot and I put a little bit on my hand, and then I'll take my finger or a sponge or a brush, typically a sponge. I'll take a little bit on the tip and just tap it into those same areas that I want it. And it's so beautiful. It blends really beautifully into the skin. So this is definitely worth a mention. They have a lot of shades. I like the shade Halo Goodbye the best for if you're near my skin tone. So for lips, I'm using the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper in the shade Champagne. I just like this. I like the shade. I like the formula. It's a very natural, kind of neutral, comfy look. So looking at it up close, you can see it's not 100% coverage on anything, but it's got some decent coverage. There's a lot of light bouncing around the face, which I think is so pretty. And I feel like when I really start thinking deeply about makeup, let's get real deep real fast. Yesterday, I was wearing like a ton of like primer and foundation and concealer and powder. And I looked at my skin about halfway through the day. No, honestly, I looked at my skin up close like an hour after applying it. And I was like, ugh, like up close, it just looks unhealthy. And so then throughout the day, I checked, like I was saying, midday. And I was like, this just, it's looking worse and worse. It's starting to break apart. And it's not that it was just those specific products I was using. It's more that that's always the case for me with products like that. When I'm piling on primer and then foundation and then concealer and then powder and then blush and bronzer, all of these different things, a lot of them being really kind of strangle the skin, if you will. It's nice to do looks like this all those other days because I feel like I still look put together. I still have like tons of steps. I mean, it's not like that was a super quick look, but I feel like I look like my best self. Does that make sense? And so for that reason, I think that's why I've really glommed onto this kind of trend of more glowy, glassy skin and just kind of more low key. I love that. Our natural beauty is showing through and I think that's really cool. Now, obviously, I can sit on my high horse and say this because I don't have acne right now. I don't have things like that to cover. So if you have things like that to cover, don't feel like because you're trying to cover it that you can't be a part of the trend. There are still things you can do that can help kind of hide that texture, like using a cream blush and a cream highlight, but you can still use those high coverage foundations because if that's something that makes you feel more put together because you want it to be covered, go for it, girl, you do you. But don't feel like you can't do some of these techniques like using just one cream shadow and bringing that on the lower lash line. You know what I mean? You can totally do that. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I loved doing this. To be honest with you, I almost did this in 2 separate videos and did like all high-end cream products and then a different one with all drugstore. This was a true solid like split down the middle mix. I might have had more drugstore than high-end just in the end, but I really do. There's so many good products out there. They don't have to be expensive. And that's kind of my goal here on this channel as I've been kind of redirecting myself is really focusing in and honing in on what is out there that's really good regardless of the price, but bonus points if it's cheaper. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you'll subscribe before you leave and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.